citrus tinge, cooking trouble with fictitious flames. Power drinking.
Today we have a special treat.
No thought for psycho sanity. We were flogged and bled through TV slots so you can feast and feed on your vanity. Power drinking.
Two-piece band. There we go. Two-piece band. I never thought I'd see another kind of punk kind of duo again, but this is awesome. So it's just they got a bunch of stuff on Bandcamp that is really good stuff. So check them out on Bandcamp. Leon? Hello?
Hey, Mom.
Hello?
How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Cheers.
Yeah, good. Yeah, we're on audio. We're on visual. That looks looking good.
Hell yeah. Nice, man.
How are you doing, fella?
Aboard. Doing wonderful, sir. Doing wonderful.
Loving
Great
what's
to
behind
have you. Yeah.
Let me move back a bit. There we go.
Hell
This is my own big. It's a real screensaver. It's like my old mandala that I bought on my travels. It's nuts.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's beautiful.
It's huge. It's 7 foot by 7 foot. It just fills a wall in the house.
Freaking gorgeous. I love that.
Makes me feel like a peacock. Like I'm.
That's awesome. That's good, man. Peacocks are amazing, actually.
They are, aren't they?
They're gorgeous. So, man, it's just us today, huh?
Yeah.
Where's your better half?
My better half is doing she's doing better things for the band. We've just sent all our demos off for the new album, and literally, in her particular very meticulous little Japanese industrial style, she's in the studio tweaking all her fuzz pedals and getting other things changed. So when time's time she has to do it, she does it. So I can't talk her out of what she calls tidying up. So it's like she's got 2 banks of pedal boards. So she's doing lots of stuff around the music. I've literally done some, because I only do stand-up drumming. I've put a new drum line down, and she's like, right, okay, this needs to change, that needs to change. So she's getting on. She's doing music, which is beautiful.
Yeah, that is awesome. She's like a ball of fire, huh?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah, she is.
And are you 2 married?
Yeah, we've been married. Yeah, we've been married about 3 years now. Been together about 6 years. Met in the UK. So yeah, we live in the same house. We rehearse in the same house. We do demos in the same house. We just gig outside the house and do recording albums outside the house. But everything else we do in a little basement in our little Victorian cottage. Mad.
That's amazing. That's so cool. I was checking out your stuff on Bandcamp.
Okay.
Wonderful. You got a bunch of good stuff on there.
Yeah, it's going well. It's nice. Yeah. 1 home album, 1 studio, working on the next. It's nice. It's nice to great to create with a wife as well.
So you said you're a drummer as well?
Percussionist. I won't call myself a drummer. I have like electronic sample drum pads that some drummers have at the side, and I just play them, put them on a loop with very deep bassline drums. And Sachiko will loop them into her pedal board, which leaves me to do the vocals and bounce about and do the anarcho punk thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I do that.
you're like my second band that I've done that has it's like basically a husband wife punk duo. Have you heard of
Really?
the War Lovers?
The what?
The War Lovers?
No, I've not heard them. Are they American? Are they?
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Wow.
I will send you a link to them, and
Yeah, please.
they're an American version of you guys, but
Wow. Oh, that's
but
wicked.
hardcore punk. They're
Really?
like they don't mess around. And the wife is on the drums.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's a drummer. She is bad to the bone. He goes on vocals and guitar, and
Yeah.
they just go at it. They're amazing. So it's nice to see another couple do the same, similar, but your own
Yeah.
style,
In your own
your
style.
own
That's it.
little psychedelic vibe, and it's
Yeah.
wonderful. I love it. It's
It's
very
mad,
refreshing.
it's the fusion of two styles because I come from very much well, from the Stooges and the Ramones all the way through UK
Yeah,
punk and Stranglers
yeah,
and Buzzcocks and all that kind of new wave thing, and then into the goth side of stuff with Sisters of Mercy and Mary Chain. And my wife,
love
although the
it.
same age, she's very much in MC5, 60s garage psych, in through then into prog. So we just kind of like go, just chuck it together and see what comes out. And it's normally
Yeah,
on the very loop, repetitive krautrock psyche style, but with a lot more the anarcho, the punk side thrown in, and it
yeah,
somehow works. Somehow works. I don't know. We just mix our styles. Somewhere in the middle, we have a unity and a style that we both like, and on the
yeah.
periphery, we've got two clashes of energy, and it's great.
Oh,
It's
that's
mad.
amazing. So tell me how you two met.
We met in Manchester, UK. We were
Okay.
both walking out of a concert, a gig. Um, my wife was studying English in the UK. She'd come to Manchester just for the day for a gig. I bumped into her, asked her, did she want to go share a beer? We went and had a pint. My mates came afterwards. I had some little wristband tickets for the after show party. She came with me. And then literally the weekend after, we both found out we were in London together going to watch The Cure, Interpol and Ride, which is our mutual favourite band. And there was a lot of mass bands on in Hyde Park in London. And we both met up that weekend, and she took me to see Roger Waters from Floyd the night before. And then we just hung out. And then through the summer, we met up at festivals. And then she moved to Manchester for 3 months on the end of a study visa. And that's when we started hanging out, going to gigs and the DIY underground music scene. And I was showing around
Yeah.
Manchester. And then she moved back to Japan. We kept dating, long distance relationship. And then just before COVID, she came over here. And then we got married. And then we
That's so
got married,
cool.
formed a band.
That is amazing. That's so awesome. So
Yeah. So
the dirt.
the
So
dirt.
that's when
Yeah.
the dirt was formed. Okay, so tell me about the dirt.
Well, the Dirt is we call ourselves the Dirt. Sachiko loves bands with very short, punchy names like we both do, like The Cure, The Jam,
Yeah.
bands like that.
Oh, The Cure is my
Uh,
favorite band ever.
oh, one of mine. Absolutely love
Yeah.
it.
Sorry for
I'm
all
a
the bands listening, but
of all the bands
can't beat
listening
The
there,
Cure.
Charlotte Sometimes is my all-time one of my favorite songs, and the video in the church is just like it's pure goth. Just love it. So
Yeah, Strange Day is one of my
yeah,
favorite songs.
unbelievable. They've not got a bad album. When I was living in Germany in the early 90s, The Cure were massive, and I'd go watch them out there more than they were accessible in the UK, to be fair. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, The Dirt is, like we said, a psychedelic, hard psych, garage, DIY, psych punk offering by a marital Japanese English couple who Sachiko plays loop distorted two pedal boards, one on loop and switch pedals, one with effects and sounds and oscillators and space echoes and lots of different stuff. So it's
Yeah.
experimental element as well as the structured song element. I play percussion. I do shouty lyrics, which started as before. This was my first music project I've been involved with. Before that, I was kind of like the American version would be Henry Rollins. The English version would be Marky Smith or John Cooper Clarke. Very much a social observer, a creative
Yeah.
writer, storyteller. And these are peoples I look up to who I'd say were very good
Gotcha.
narrators
Yeah.
of public opinion. So I was a spoken word poet, doing performance poetry around the beat poetry scene. And so I was
Gotcha.
writing lyrics, writing rhyme. I had an interest in the 80s in hip hop, but it was more the heavier stuff, very much like what Linkin Park were doing and things like that. And I kind of brought that element of storytelling, social observation to the lyric side. And my lyrics were then put to Sachiko's guitar play. And it started very much as a very soft loop guitar sound on our first album with me
Yeah.
narration. And as we moved in and we moved in together, it became songwriting structure, and they've got a lot more texture, a lot more energy now. And it's a show rather than me stood there reciting spoken word with soundscapes. It's very much now we write songs for albums, we write songs for listening to, as opposed to being just my words. So it's evolved.
That's awesome.
Quite a lot, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's the dirt, man. I noticed your message earlier about Jesus and Mary Chain. Yeah, they're an amazing band as well. I love their psychedelic style as well. You know, I always kind of looked at them kind of like almost like a '60s type of alternative band. You know, if they would be in the '60s, I would say that's what it would sound like. Still, I mean, it would sound exactly. It wouldn't change nothing. It would be just them. You know,
there's elements of Velvet Underground there, isn't
brilliant.
There?
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Like I love the Velvet Underground, and there is elements of that and that repetitive chiming guitar sound and stuff. And Lou Reed was a great storyteller as well. I think of things that were going on.
So, what got you into storytelling?
Mental health breakdown.
I don't talk to many people that do spoken word, so this is actually a little bit interesting. I didn't know this about you.
Yeah, I started. I had a breakdown. I woke up drunk in a police station. And my story is I came out and it was a life awakening. I was a binge drinker. I was spending a lot of time from Thursday to Sunday. Music was a lot of it, but it was more a case of masking a lot of the stuff behind me. And what it started, a lot of people don't know is I'm an ex-veteran. So I'd served a lot in the late 80s and 90s.
Thank you. I'm a Marine.
Oh, cool. So
thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you, mate. No, it's I feel quite humble about it now. I did 10 years. That's why I was in Germany a lot. And literally I got diagnosed with PTSD. I was masking my image, masking through drink, and I woke up at a police station and needed help. So I'm lucky I live near the hills, and I got out walking. I went through an abstinence of no alcohol and just cleared my mind, went through therapy. And what started was, once my head started unraveling, all this spaghetti and all these wires were untangling, that words just started flowing out of me. And it was this like vomiting regurgitation of energy and words and stories that I just wrote on paper, and I was putting them into my phone and writing them when I came home. And that's what formed. I've wrote 3 books of poetry now. And the first one was called Talking Myself Out of Trouble, because literally going to open mic nights and reading my thoughts was like a therapy session. So I was telling everyone around the demons in my head, the anxiety, the fire in my stomach, the heads, the sweats in the middle of the night. And I was just getting this into rhyme and stories. So that became the story. And that is a lot of the lyrics that we write about, is my mental health and positivity around men's mental health. And that is why I go and do talks to, like I mentioned to you before, I talk with young kids who are marginalized, going through traumatic childhoods, and get them to talk about their feelings early on.
That's awesome.
We do that through spoken word and poetry and little stories, so they can tell you what they're feeling in a very nice, safe environment. So I still do that with veterans as well, and do poetry clubs online, and go to talk to people and say, look, I'm this toxic, masculine, middle-aged man, white middle-aged man that was into what you'd call soccer, going on away days, very masculine, sort of like football, tribal, and things like that. And then I just hid behind this facade that once I became open, I realized I needed to say that I was struggling.
Wow.
And that's how it started. And once I got my head around talking openly around my feelings, I then got talking about social observation and where I sit politically, and getting those words out as well. So I said my first book was the Gothic Dark book. My second book was the anarcho-punk book. And the third book was very much a celebration of the people that helped me, which was the psychedelic Alice in Wonderland trippy book. So yeah, I've wrote 3 collections, all illustrated with homeless people, a recovering alcoholic, a girl suffering with her own mental health issues through being neurodivergent. And they've come and helped me illustrate a book and tell the story to sit along my words, as my wife does with music. So in a nutshell, I was a bit of a crazy horse. I got my head
You were
around
a
it.
wanker. You
Eh?
were a wanker.
Yeah, my mates used to say I was a nuisance, an effing nuisance. Yeah, because I'd
Sorry,
be like this
wanker's one of my favorite words. I just
wanker.
love that word.
Yeah,
Wanker. Good old
yeah,
wanker.
yeah. And I was. It was like, will you? Oh God, mate, here he goes again. But that was it.
Yeah.
That was the life. And I guess the dirt is it's talking about things people don't like that they want to wash their hands with, but we're opening to talk about them, whether it be mental health, whether it be
Yeah.
the state of the nation, what's gritty, what's grimy, what's going on that we don't want to talk about. But we'll talk about the dirty things. We'll talk about those kind of things and put it on the
Yeah.
table. Yeah.
That's good, man. It's good for you. Gosh, man, you just made this whole the rest of this is like bullshit compared to what you just told me. This is like
It's
that was
it's
amazing. And
it's
it's so cool
context.
to hear that about you.
Oh, thanks,
And
man. Yeah, it's
that's
context, isn't it? We all have different places where we start. And although I've been a music lover of goth punk, new wave, and dark stuff,
me
and
too. The exact same music that you
exact
listen
same,
to. We're like
I
two
always
people
that
in a pod.
I never got playing music. I had this imposter syndrome, never good enough, never been able to do this. Could I be able to do that? And to start doing that in my late 40s and having a second chance at doing something that I love, it's willing to embrace. So I do this now, and I love telling people, whether it be online or at talks, never too late. You're never too late to
Never.
thrive in an environment the way you're supposed to be. So
That's right.
yeah,
And like
and
you said, it's healing. Music is
yeah,
healing, and it's a form of
without a
healing
doubt.
for me too. I got myself into a bad coke and meth habit, and like almost 14 years of nonstop, and
Yeah,
just being a total dickhead. And so, but not, so I wrote about that too. I've been away from that. I've been clean.
good.
And so just I've still been a pain in the ass for us, but it still
It
loves
comes,
dishing out is stuff that make us, and
yeah.
it's like I feel like Job in the Bible,
No, it's
with
mad.
all these
I still get this
trials and
guy going.
errors all the time, and
Yeah, man.
but they're all to make us better though. I
It
mean,
does.
we could turn them around and make it better, or we could turn around and be depressed little wankers,
We can.
and
Wankers, yeah.
because I've been to depression a lot too. Depression is like one of my main things, and I don't have post traumatic maybe, but I do have depression, and
Yeah.
I know that's part of that, and
I,
so
I, I think it's good that when I got once I knew what was going on in here, and once
yeah,
I knew what the reason was, and I had something to hang my coat on and say, okay, that's what that feeling is. That's what this buzz that here is. Before it gets to here, I'm going to solve it. I'm going to sort it. And that's what I can do 99% of the time now. My wife is very understanding and understands that sometimes I go off like a bottle of pop and it's not personal to her. It's not personal to the environment. It's just some little equilibrium here that something's
yeah,
triggered and I get my
yeah,
head around. But we get around it now. We understand how it happens. And it's something I deal with every day. When I go out, and if I go out for a couple of pints with my mate, whether it's to watch a band, she gets nervous because she thinks, is he going out for 2 or 3 pints, or is he going out for his 10, 12, 15 that he used to do? Um,
yeah,
and I've got this brilliant habit now, which of coping mechanism, that I do like a pint of beer, but I also drink non-alcoholic beer or soft drinks, and I can do it, and I can't lie to her because she knows that if I have more than 2 or 3, I'll be blowing like a snoring warthog in the middle of the night, and she'll go, "You were lying to me. You had a couple more than what you said you were going to have." And I'm like,
uh,
"Sorry, mistrust, never again." So I don't do it. I'm lying to myself
yeah,
if I'm lying to her.
of
So
course,
there's a level of I need a level of sobriety to keep the lid on this because
yeah,
it took 20, 30 years to get here. It's been 5 years since my breakdown. It's not going to go in 5 years. It's going to be another 10
yeah,
plus more. What took time to ravel is going to take time to unravel.
yes,
So,
sir.
but writing and bouncing on a stage and using adrenaline as your drug is the most amazing feeling I've ever had. Adrenaline, the pre-gig nerves, the after shake and come. That is my drug now, and I thrive off it, and I devour it and love it. And
So your love is on the stage then.
oh, I love it. Yeah, I love everything from the creative process of writing. I love how me and Sachiko put a puzzle together of her loops and music. And once it's
Yeah,
ready, I tell her, I've got this tingle here. I go, that's stage ready now. That's ready for a stage. And she's like, okay, that's what she does now. I need to tidy it up. I need to get the knobs just a little
Yeah.
changed so the fuzz of the distortion's right, or I can get the reverb just about right, or I can get that loop tidied up a bit on the drum beat. That's where she's at now. So, because we're doing
Yeah.
a big Manchester gig in 2 weeks, it's going to be an hour set where we normally do 40, 45 minutes. So she's going, I need to have this ready. It's got to be nice and clean and
Of course.
fancy. So,
So cool that you have such a gosh, a charismatic woman helping you out, and that's awesome.
It's crazy
And
because
how's her English going? Is she pretty good at speaking English?
Yeah, she's very good at speaking English now. When we first met, she had a good understanding of English, and now she's picking up Northern English, so she's getting slang, and she's picking up on different words now. Like when you go to the toilet, she'll say lavvy, and she'll say toilet, cup of tea, and a brew, and stuff like this. So she's getting Northern English for a brew, for a cup of tea, and she's getting these little words, and it's really nice to see. And we've got a good base of family up here, so she's settled in well. But we do go to Japan every 8-9 months for a month at a time, so we spend a lot of time in Japan. I go do some vocal jamming with musicians there, but she just bought a new transportable pedal board rather than the analog pedal she's got. So we're going to start doing little bits over there eventually, which will be nice. So we can play with her friends and people that I play and do vocal jamming with over there. So there's a really good scene over there, especially with hardcore stuff as well, with friends that have little labels that I go and watch. So there's a lot going on, which is nice. But yeah, she's tied it up. But that stage thing, I just love it. We're very like yin and yang. Sachiko will be there in a baker boy hat. If people see the photograph, she'll dress like a mod, tootle scarf, with a jacket or a t-shirt, and she'll play with her head down and all the pedals with a Rickenbacker, and this is all you'll get from her. Yet the noise and the energy from her is spellbinding. Whereas me, I'm simply musician. I hit an electronic drum pad, but my energy and creativity comes from the front of house and the bounce and going to the crowd and hugging people and shouting and giving it that. And I bring the opposite side to what she is. So we're very much like it's Japanese culture. There's very much a juxtaposition of how we're two totally different people on stage, but we're bringing different sides to it. So it's nice.
That's awesome. How are you on speaking Japanese?
Oh, very small. Sakoshi hanasamasu. I can say hello. How are we doing? I speak a little.
Very little, huh? But you're trying.
Very little. Right? I'm trying. When I go there, I kind of pick it up a lot better, and I understand listening what the context of the story is. But I think it's confidence. I went away this time for 3 days while Sachiko was at home with her mum, and I went to see these Obliteration records and went to a day of hardcore, mad metal, punk stuff. That was the purpose of going for 3 days. The other 2 days were just, I'll say a bit of tourism. I came back with all these stories, and I was sending Sachiko pictures. She went, how have you ended up in this microbrewery bar? How have you ended up in this traditional noodle place that only Japanese people would know where to get to? I went, I've been chatting to this Japanese guy, and me and him have just gone off on a little wander. And the next night I met these guys, and she's like, this is mad. I went, well, I'm trying my Japanese. I'm trying. And they know I'm trying, although it's very bad. They know I'm trying. So they've just gone, come on, lad, let's go speak a bit of English and go to a bar or noodles and stuff. But it's good. It's stories. And I bring those stories back and I write about them.
I heard they're kind of like almost how Germans are, very, very picky about how you speak. Is that accurate? Like very proud. They're very proud of their language. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd say Germans are very proud as well because they've got quite a unique language of Germans compared to a lot of other Europeans. Yeah, it's quite German Deutsch is German, isn't it? As well as a lot of I think French, Italians, and Spanish, the grammar is quite similar. The vocabulary is different, and they do flow in a bit more. Yeah. Whereas German it's a German language. It's very particular, very proud of it, and I think that's good. The Japanese are very the same as well because their language and alphabet and characters are totally unique from every other part of East Asia. There's been no connection and flow as people migrated as to how they got the Japanese language. So it's very proud and it's good.
Oh, that's crazy.
Which makes me more nervous.
Yeah, no duh, huh?
Yeah.
So with your creative process is basically she comes up with some sounds and loops first then. Is that what you're getting at? And then you come with the flow?
I guess
Or
I come with a little bit as it's been going with this next album. I come with a bit of an idea, which is I've got these words, they're lyrically ready. I think we should start with a very heavy drum driving beat and something that's bassy that sounds very much, I don't know. I'll name a band like the Stooges, MC5 or Mary Chain or something,
yeah,
or Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, something like this. And she'll go,
yeah,
okay. She's got the pedals and she'll go like this, and I'll go exactly like that. It's weird. I'll hum it or mime it or lar it, and I'll go, but that in a very fuzz distortion way. And she'll go, okay. So we've got the bass line and a very simple drumming. It's very rhythmic tribal drumming, very simple on
yeah,
on a couple of sounds. And after that, I'll put the words in and break, and she'll just she'll work on the fret and different sounds, and then she'll then take over with the guitars. And I don't try and say do this, do that. It's like this is your domain now. Once we've got the rhythm down between us, whether it be a bass line in your loop and me putting the
yeah,
basic drums on, once we've got that and the sound, and I tell her the context of what the words are, is it celebrating? Is it angry? Is it
yeah.
frustration? And then she'll take that and put that emotion into the guitar, and that's how it'll form. And then eventually we break it down into segments. So we've got the bits for instrumental bits where she will then elaborate on the guitars while I pipe down and shut my mouth up. And then I'll come back in because I can't be too much like, yeah, it's all about
When
the
she
words.
lets you, when she lets you.
When she lets me, yeah. And then we go, right, this is where we come back in with the words, and then we'll do some repetition. And we don't normally do a
Awesome.
chorus, but I will add a chorus in somewhere, something that's a bit of a chant. And that's how it basically forms. And then
Yeah,
I'm
that's
then
awesome.
redundant. I'm redundant as she goes where she is now and tidies up and constructs the song. And then I come back and then the words fit in, and then we'll just tidy up with a few effects and then make the song bigger. And then it'll
It's
grow in
amazing.
sound and go, right, let's make it more spacey. Let's go a bit Spaceman 3 on this, or let's go a little bit more somewhere on that. This can be a bit more gothy, or this can be a bit more new wavy, or this could be really hardcore, fast. Let's go fast. And then we'll do that and we'll speed it up or we'll slow it down.
Yeah,
And it kind of works. It's good
so
as a two
cool.
piece. We can do that as a marital two piece. That if we sat in the house and we'll go, shall we go down and jam and do something? Yeah, we can. Which we find the freedom to do that. If we had a bassist and a drummer and you're calling people up and you can't do that. So it's very free form of how we create something. And sometimes
You ever go ahead? Go ahead.
we can create a song within 30 minutes. We've had some where we've been going at it for 2-3 weeks, and we both will go, we can't put square pegs in round holes. Scrap it. Back to the bass line, back to the drums. Let's build it
Yeah.
again. And then songs will come again. So the lyrics will stay the same. The bass and drums will stay quite similar, and then we'll build up again. And then usually it'll work then. So there's no strict format, and I don't believe there should be of how anyone creates something. So
Gotcha.
that's kind of how we work, and it makes it handy being in the same house, and it makes it handy being in the same house when I'm doing because I do the side managing as well. We don't have a manager, we don't have a label, we don't have a booker, so it's all about connectivity through like-minded people on a DIY underground scene. So I can email, I can message, and then we book gigs up through the year, and that's kind of what I do on the morning, and I do that side of it. So it leaves Sachiko free to enhance the music side of it. So
That's so awesome.
yeah, it's a very good family DIY project.
Do you ever collaborate with other people?
I do. I do a lot of vocals with other bands, and if they've got an instrumental, I've got a band from Leeds who are a friend of ours called I'm on Acid, who are very more doomy psych. And the guy there who writes the music said, I've got this electronic keyboard piece. Will you put some words to it? So I've got that as a project at the moment, but I've worked with other more doomy psychedelic metal or punk bands. I've worked with electronica and dub bands as well with words.
Yeah.
And I'll vocalize for bits of those that they've not got the words for, or they've just done a jam in a studio and they've recorded it and gone, we've got this, but we don't write songs that fit it. Jack, do you want to have a go at it? And I'm going, yeah, I'll have a play with it. So I'll take the stems and I'll put some vocals on and send it back to them, and they'll either release it on their albums or we'll do it live if we ever meet up and hook up again. Do that. It's great. I love that. It gives me another facet outside what the dirt's doing.
It allows you to work your vocals in different avenues,
It does, yeah, because different
exercise.
music requires something different. I'm very off the chest and throaty when I'm doing our stuff because it requires that with the energy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get something a bit more trippy and dubby. You can bring it down a bit and just play in different ways, because not all my words fit the dirt kind of music. So there is words in my poetry book or in my published books which would just sit there. And sometimes I go, I've got this music. I wrote this a while ago. This is going to work a treat on this. So then I'll go rummaging around in my book, or I'll pick it out of one of my other books that we've got some published verse in and go, this is it. This is the one. So then I'll recite it and work it, or I'll chop it. I'll just copy and paste, chop and change 2 verse, which I did last time, and just say, right, this will work. It's a mad story. So yeah, I love doing that. I always say that when I'm doing like mental health talks, if you've got a project or a puzzle, it keeps your mind busy and open, and it stops you wandering. And the mischief man giving it this, saying, come on, let's go to the pub, let's go cause mischief. Stops him. So if I've got little puzzles going on, it really, I feel calm. If I'm spinning plates, and I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's as a musician, as a songwriter, never get rid of any of your tracks. Never throw away any of your lyrics. I mean, I have some that are just choruses, like I came up with a really good chorus. I still haven't used that chorus on nothing. But
it'll
come. Still in my book.
It'll come. Something will come that'll suit that, and you'll go, oh, there it is. And I do that. I write everything down, and I'm always on my phone. And people say, oh, you must be addicted to the internet. I'm like, no, I've just heard something on a radio. I've seen something on the news, and I'll write a few lines, and then that will trigger my thoughts. And I'll go, I was on the bus today. I was like, whoa, writing it down. So I've wrote this little intro narrative, which will eventually become lyrics, or that will just become a verse. Maybe it comes chorus. I don't know yet. But it will stay in my phone. It'll then go in my book, and then it'll go there. So I go, and I'll put little asterisks like lyrics or collab or something, because it's not going to be for the dirt. It'll be a collaboration, and it'll sit there beautifully. And the time will come when it's needed, and that's the beauty of it all.
I heard you went to EMF, huh? What do you think about the new EMF album?
The EMF?
Yeah, their new album.
It's brilliant. I love all the stuff those guys do. It's bouncing. It's brilliant.
Isn't it so good? I would love the first track, even the way it starts. It gave me that unbelievable type vibe. That album, just
It's like going to Roots, isn't it? And then saying, right, this is our formula. Let's build on it and go off what's going on there.
Wonderful album. Great
guys.
The great dudes.
It was weird.
I've met so far.
I've known James for a few years now, and I met Ian. Obviously, got to know them two on the tour, and the rest of the guys, and then the most humble, professional, really lovely guys. And to get the call, it was like this July last year. Off James direct saying, we've got an idea, we're going to go on a tour next year, how would you like to come? And I'd supported him on a couple of festivals doing introductory, my acid dropping verse and my spacey trippy verse before they've come on stage. And then I'd done one support slot with a full half an hour spoken word set, which was nerve-wracking. I went, as Leon or the Dirt? He went, which would you prefer? And I'm like, the Dirt, let's go on tour. And it was like, and then they said, let's chat about it, we'll work it out. And then I got the call, and then the emails were in, and then we're like 11-day tour with them. And it was great. It was just amazing. So, and I think they've been back over to the States quite recently. I think they did a bit of a tour and things like that. So, yeah,
well, that's awesome. So you guys have a full length album about to come out?
Pardon?
Do you guys have a full length album about to come out?
Not the moment. We've got Agitator, which we're still playing and touring, which was our first studio album. We've done the demos. We're going in the studio in December. We're going into a little seaside town in Scotland, so we're going quite high up. And then, look at that!
It's my new baby.
Wife, when I show my wife this, and you see a little baby, a little cat, she's going to go crazy, because we used to have a little toy cat. Yeah. And we're going to the studio in December, and we're going to have the album out probably end of summer.
Okay.
Working title's called Monkey Punch. Darwinism, or whatever you want to call it. It's an ode to a manga creator in Japan, but also to political stance. Darwinism, call it what you will. We are under evolving, and other species will take us over. So it's we're going to mess this world up unless, and then the monkeys or apes will take over. So it's got a little bit of that in it, and it's very politically charged, very levels of frustration, and it's faster, it's more faster Gary Sykes. So it's and Sachiko's pedal board has gone from 1 and a bit to full 2 pedal trains now. So there's a lot more effects, a lot more noise going on, and a lot more effect. It's just crazy. So we've done the demos. They've gone to the recorder. The guy in the studio, he's having a listen, create a few plans. We finished our last gig mid December. We've got a little what's turned into gigging with a few friends around the north of England, which turned into like an 8-9 day tour. And then we start.
That's so cool.
Yeah, we start off at the beginning of the year doing a festival called Rockaway Beach, which I believe is probably named after the place near New York. And it's headlined by bands like Left Field and Spiritualized and stuff like that. And then all the other bands, and we're doing a little showcase set on it. So we need to be match fit, ready for that to kick off the next year. So yeah, that'll be mad. Yeah, it's all
awesome.
go. It's nice.
Well, it seems like you guys are pretty busy then.
Yeah,
a lot coming up. Happy for
going
you.
on gigs wise. We'll let loads booking into next year, and then we'll get the new album out. I run a little festival as well, which is dark psych with anarcho stuff going on. A lot of good bands coming to that. We did that in a wood, in the Lake District in the UK this year, but we're moving it to Yorkshire, and that's called a Conjuring. And we're going to use a little old 18th century farm barn for that this time, and just bring a load of DIY bands in and good everyone in the field, and have this mad psychedelic sort of jump about, for want of a better word.
Amazing.
So, yeah, it's
when you
busy
get your new album out, hit me up again beforehand. We'll schedule another get together, and have you guys talk about your new album. We'll do a little promo,
that'll be good.
okay?
Yeah, and I can send you a copy across so you can have a good little ear burn on it.
Oh, I would love that. So I can, yes, sir. I'll give you my email address when we get done.
Please do.
I do appreciate you so much, man. You guys, I'm really happy for your success. And
thank you
I'm
very
really
much,
happy
mate.
for what you're doing, and the love between you two seems so genuine and so pure, and I appreciate that. And I see the joy on your face.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of you for you opening up also as well, for telling us about some of the dirt that's within you, and
that's the dirt, it's the filth, it's the mind.
Right.
And we've clearly got that connection there, and it's glad to know that you've had your backstory that's quite not too dissimilar.
Yep.
And we've all got to climb those stairs to get over it. And it's
good.
And we've both got smiles on our face, so something works.
Yes,
The arts work. I've always said that, from the kids I work with to the ex-veterans I work with to everyone else. The arts is the place to be, to put a smile on your face. Creativity, it just gives you that sense of enormous well-being, and just gives you that buzz, that real crazy.
Wow, today's gonna be a great day. Today's a beautiful day. Today is a great day here on the Roosta Show. We have a new friend, Leon. I love you, man. And
thank you very much,
love
Roosta.
to your wife. Thank you so much for being here, and I can't wait till next time. Let's stay in touch, and
stay in touch,
I
mate.
can't wait to hear more from you. And
take care,
bless
mate.
you and your family. Take care of
you
yourself.
too, brother. Take care, man. Love you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Cheers,
Bye-bye,
mate.
guys. Take care.
Towards the corrupt and gluttonous. Let me demonstrate disgust for this elite incestuous. Anamorphic media and a biased culture. Let's chase fox hunters into rat-infested squalor. Protagonist is devoid of leadership. aristocrat will now wake the nation. Run the gauntlet down through ghetto heaven. Doubt breeds chaos and avoid the beheading. Powers paralyzed in the smashed glass palace. Stones of this proletariat fueled by malice. Evaluate the friendships born in darkened rooms. Flip the switch, let's illuminate truths. Facilitate, participate, no one showered in glory. I'll illustrate this point one more time, they cannot rewrite stories. Deceived by a gentleman's agreement. Confidence is lost within the business bereavement. Olympian desires to run from their rupture. They can't heal wounds with a gimmick pinstripe suture. Hold lanterns to their flies at night. Wandering in labyrinths with doors that slide. Shine over shadow, shape dictates power. The devil will never dance for a tepid supper. Of chasms for their asylum plea. Rich a fear of falling into their unethical estuaries. No one wants to drown in this conspiring sea. Tides turn, ships sink, oil drums always flow free. Friendships born in darkened rooms. Flick the switch, let's illuminate truths. Facilitate, participate,